Everyone ready?
3, 2, 1.
Go!
Subject 428 is a very deeply detailed video in which we will explore the story of Curbs 428. But before we jump into it, I need to announce that in this video we will be featuring my face.
Oh my god, did you see that? Just face revealed.
Cool, right? Okay. Anyways, this video will be split up into three main sections. Curbs' character,
I don't really care.
narrator's character,
Why did you...
and the rooms. So,
This makes
without
no
further
sense.
ado,
Why?
let's go. Don't slap the face cam.
I had no reason
Curbs'
to.
character
I just
is
felt
a
like
very interesting one because it seems to show two sides of Curbs
I had
himself.
an idea
Not
in my head
necessarily
of
his differing
something later.
personalities, which we'll get into later.
It's not
In
even
the first
a full reason
episode
to make
of
a video,
Curbs
but I just
428,
did it
most of
anyway.
which has been confirmed by Kirby to be non-canon, we view a few interesting
quite
things
far
about
into the
Curbs.
video, so you'll just have to
Throughout
wait
the
and
whole
see.
video, he seems very stress-free, I would say, considering that he is
The actual
lost
theory
and
stuff
pretty much alone.
doesn't really
And the reason that
happen
we know he's lost
for
is
a
because
little
in the
bit.
video he
Wait,
says...
shut up.
I mean, it's getting pretty
sorry, my
late.
bad.
I think I should really head home. Where is home?
What
He
did you have
finds a
to
book
do that,
that says-
Steve?
Huh?
Don't trust anyone.
Why'd you have to do that, Steve?
Okay.
He then enters a cave which happens to have a hidden stairway leading
Keeping your
deeper
old
into
video
a
in there.
hallway.
Why did
There
you
are
have
some
to do this,
signs in the
Steve?
hallway,
Why did you have
but
to...
we'll get into that later.
your
Kirby
high-pitched
then
voice.
enters a dark room and
Why
somehow
do you have
falls
to do
down
this,
into a
Steve?
cave. This is where episode 2 comes in. There's a lot more going on here, so I'm going to try my best to sum it up. So right from the start, Curb states that he has a plan, which is very different from the beginning of the first episode where he seems very lost. It's pretty safe to assume that this sort of flashback thing happened before or after the events of Curbs 428. I would probably assume that it occurs before, and I'll explain
But
why that
yeah,
is in
this
just a
Steve.
bit. Curbs has been recording himself in front of a green screen, and it seems like he's been doing that for a while. When the camera glitches for
what?
just a moment, we're able to
What are
see
you
what appears to
laughing
be Kirby's
Did I miss
skin in the
something?
background. Now, I don't exactly know what significance
But
this
you have to
has.
add one of the errors of episode 2 there.
That it looks like he's outside.
you know me
seeing as
in
there's
real
some
life.
stars in the background. Kirby proceeds to
Look at that
state,
dummy face.
Felt a
You've
bit
seen my face
lonely
before.
with some friends,
His
like
face looks so
book
dumb.
Curbs and
Why did you have to put effort, Steve?
he created them.
I put lots
That
of
is a
effort in this
strange
video.
choice of words, I will admit, but there's something here to note. Usually if something is created, that means that it has never existed before, which would make it seem that
No way.
these
By the
two
way, at the end of
versions
this, I
Kirby
want you to
didn't
tell
exist
me what
anytime
things I'm wrong
previously.
about.
But
which is
I'd
probably
argue
the
that
whole
that's
video,
not
but-
the case, considering how...
The thing is, I wasn't planning to destroy... Oh wait.
Fingers. I don't have the books.
Why did you have to... I really hate it when I hear my old videos because they're very
high pitch. It's very annoying. I'm like,
Have them. Whoa, I don't have the books. Hold
I
up,
have
hold
to.
up, hold up, hold
I
up.
need that nostalgia.
Kirby.
It's not nostalgia, I just hate my voice.
Curbs, make sure to
It's
move
so
so you don't
different
get
me.
Kirby
disconnected.
exists. Oh, he's a bookshelf.
Book. To be honest, I love that scene. I didn't talk there. That's why I love it.
Now, of course, I don't
Wait,
think there's
Curbs, don't
any
forget to move so you don't
100%
get
confirmation that
Huh?
Homecraft is canon, though I believe it is,
Don't
and
forget to
here's
move
why.
so you don't get
There are many
disconnected
different
for
parts in the
AFK.
video which clearly go way back to the
Want to do the
origins.
countdown?
Yeah, you do
Three.
countdown.
2, 1, go!
For example, narrator didn't show up until here, so I think it's pretty safe to assume that Homecraft is
It's
canon.
Minecraft canon.
So either he doesn't remember, or... well, let's move on to narrator and I'll explain.
Jesus
Curbs falls down a
Christ.
hole and finds a
I'm
book. When he
impressed
picks it
with
up,
the
we see
effort here.
I mean, Guider Curbs.
Thank you.
Now, Guider Curbs is a completely
Though I'm
new
not very- I
character
don't think
to
I'm very
us,
good at
and
theory
by that, I
videos,
mean we
to
haven't
be
seen
honest.
Curbs in
Yeah,
this
but
form before. When
oh
looking
no.
around the room, it's fairly obvious for us to tell that this well-dressed dog is definitely hiding something. I mean, there's literally a wither skull and a wither rose just sitting there.
I
Right
didn't
away,
even
there's
notice
something
that.
Very interesting.
What?
you might be
you
wondering where
didn't?
you are right now.
Okay, I'm smiling because of that. Oh, you guys are on
When
the wrong,
I got
right
there, this
track.
can lead us to believe that Guider Curbs has been in that room before, and not only that, he's managed to leave it. It seems that even though he made it out of wherever Curbs is now, he isn't truly free. You see, his name is Guider Curbs, meaning that he is the one who's supposed to show Curbs the way out. Why might he still be trapped? Well, I don't think it's entirely clear, but more on that in a bit. Towards the end of the whole dialogue, explaining how Curbs is to escape, he says,
And, if you do this for me, you will be able to finally leave this nightmare.
"If you do this for me." This could be pointing out that this whole elaborate scheme is narrator's doing.
Guider Curb signing out.
Yeah, Kirby makes it pretty obvious that the narrator and Guider Curbs are one and the same. So it is possible
I can
that
tell.
the
I
narrator
can
is
hear the
creator
cringe
of
in your
this.
voice whenever
But
my
let me
face
argue a
shows up.
different point. Every time we've previously seen narrator, he has always manifested
cringe in your
himself through
breathing.
Curbs 428. But there is evidence to suggest that the different forms of Kirby are separate beings. Or perhaps
This is
they
where things
used to
get a
be.
little bit.
Back in episode 1 of Curbs 428, there's a frame with a
Little
math
bit crazy.
equation. Fun fact, if you solve that equation, you get 427. Not 428, 427. I think there's a reason for that. If we look at the hallway in episode 1, we can see two signs. One saying room 426, and the other one saying 427. I was scratching my head
This is my
for a
favorite
while,
part in the
wondering
whole
why there
video,
would be these different
right
rooms
after
just
this.
randomly
Simply,
numbered
why do you have to
pretty
add your face? Like,
close to the
Okay, right here.
But then it hit me.
This is why I did my face.
It was in the title of the series the entire time. Curbs is a test
That singular thing.
number 426 exact. And the reason there's a number 427 written in equation form by narrator, supposedly narrator at least, based on some other frames.
Literally says -1.
Because narrator
The equation.
so 427.
Yeah.
Maybe the reason there are numbered rooms is that there are some kind of holding cells for the previous test subjects. Now, something to keep in mind.
Okay,
is that
all I
like
know is
said,
I'm
there is
I'm
evidence to
happy with
suggest
this.
that the different forms of
I'm
Kirby
doing
are
right.
separate beings. My reasoning for
Hey.
that is because Curbs 428 was the only physical person. Why did they need numbered rooms? Why did they need multiple rooms? Now, the rooms might not necessarily be canon, so let me argue my point further. The number of the subjects themselves must have some significance. For example, subject 428. Now, why would you number your subjects if it's all one test subject? If all of these tests are being performed on the
My face
same
here for
exact
just a
curves,
little bit here,
why would
so,
they bother to
You can
number?
cringe some.
Perhaps the different forms of curbs were put through these tests, but have somehow failed, and were supposed to be disposed of, but somehow always became part of the next curbs. Now this is pretty far-fetched, and there's not a ton of evidence to support it, but it is still technically possible. This is perhaps why Kirby is able to change his physical form as well as his personality. Maybe this is because the previous curbs are trying to free themselves, and at least
You
try
have no
and
idea
warn
how
whoever
long it
Kirby
took
is
me to find the
talking
right music for
that
this.
there's a lot more going on here than
It's
the
not
game
even
might
funny.
first think.
Oh, I
Now, it's
loved
possible
how
that
like
Kirby is
during the
somehow playing
moment,
himself. What I mean
immediately
by
when
that
narrator
is,
came in,
perhaps
he just
narrator's
mined the
bored.
floor
Maybe
and
he's playing
revealed the
games.
room.
Yeah.
Making
I love
Kirby
that
go through all
moment.
these tests just so he can watch, because that's all narrator does. The podium room is an interesting one. With some screenshots provided by Kirby himself, we can see that there are 4 different podiums, along with
I don't know
whatever
why I
this
thought there
thing
were 4.
is. Now I could stare at this thing for hours trying to figure out what it is, but that would be a video in of itself. The podium brought into focus
You know
in
what's
this
sad?
video is
Right
the
after I
treasure of
uploaded the
log
video, I
sign.
figured out what that
I find
other sign
this,
meant.
along with these ending words, significant.
I've been working on a place myself. I can't wait for you to see it. Welcome to Homecraft, Kirby.
Now yes, you're probably thinking, how could you possibly not know what was going on in the story? Well, to put it in simple terms, I just said a voice line. That doesn't mean I know all of the lore. If you've been watching mine and Kirby's channels for a while
It's
now,
true.
you
I
probably
never I
know
don't
about
tell him
Homecraft.
what's
And
happening.
if
I
you
just
don't
tell
know
him
what
to do
Homecraft
stuff.
Is, you know, you can go
And it
back and
works.
subscribe to the main channel and go watch the video. You know, go subscribe to Kirby.
Bros
as well.
up, Pokemon soundtrack!
I mean, this entire video is about his video, like, go subscribe to him. Anyway, if you've been watching the videos about Homecraft, then you would know about the Log Nation. And something significant about the Log Nation is that it was the first base that Kirby built on the server. This voice line clearly sounds like I'm greeting Kirby to Homecraft. See, as I say.
Homecraft, Kirby.
Now, this makes me think that the whole next video is probably going to be based around
Good
the
job
Log
on
Nation.
that, Steve.
Now, whether that means Kirby
smart.
building a one-to-one
I'm smart like that.
recreation of the entire base, or just some little Easter eggs referencing it, I don't really know. Let's quickly sum everything up. Subject 428 appears to be taking place after the events of Homecraft. Since there are many references to it, I believe that it is definitely taking place after Homecraft. This means that the clip at the beginning of Kirby's video is most likely a memory. One more thing, Kirby. I did this video for you. And I just need to say, do you have any idea how long it took for me to put those up?
What you know about